Okay, I must be a glutton for punishment, but I'm already preparing to build the rear bumper for the shop truck. Presently I got some 6x2" tube, and we're going to cut that into a 6-foot section. We're going to put that, mount that up underneath the truck, and then build a deck lid to it. We'll be working on that. This one's going to be a lot simpler than what we did up front, so it should go faster. One thing I'd like to talk about on Rocky's rant. All right, some Rocky's rant here. You know, I'm always looking on YouTube. I think YouTube's one of the greatest things in the world. I mean, if I would have had this when I was younger, I can imagine some of the things I would have been able to do sooner with the information that's on the internet. I'm always looking on the internet, looking at other people's websites, watching people weld and fabricate. They come up with some really great ideas. And one of the things that I noticed was that all of them were talking about anti-splatter spray and nozzle gel. I, of course, wanted to have better welds, more consistent welds, and less issues with the nozzle, so you know, I purchased both of them. The nozzle gel works good. It's a little bit slimy. It leaves a residue behind when it melts off. Not a big deal because it cleans up easily, and it keeps the gun and the nozzle cleaner longer. However, with the spray, I bought some spray. I'm not going to tell you what brand it is, but holy cow, man. I mean, this is some of the most hazardous Chernobyl, can kill you in an instant stuff that I've come across. I'm surprised that they're able to sell it. And there's no way to get away from it. You're burning this stuff off and it goes right up your mask. So unless you're wearing a respirator while you're welding, there's no way to get around inhaling this stuff. But look at some of the dangers. It says harmful if swallowed. Of course, I'm not going to be eating it. Causes skin irritation. Well, okay, that's not too bad. Causes serious eye irritation. Okay, I don't know how I can avoid that. May cause drowsiness, dizziness. May cause cancer. May cause damage to organs through prolonged or repeated exposure. May cause anal rectal bleeding. May cause you to self-explode. May cause you to lose your children, to have them kidnapped. It may cause the World Trade Centers to crash. It may cause unexplained disappearance. It may cause alien abductions. I mean, holy cow, I can't believe that this stuff is available. And then it says, first aid. Call a poison center doctor if you feel unwell. Rinse mouth and skin, wash with plenty of water. Skin irritation occurs, get medical attention immediately. Take off contaminated clothing and wash before reuse. If inhaled, remove person to fresh air and keep comfortable for breathing. Call a poison control center if you feel unwell. Man, I do like the way it works though. It does keep it from spattering, or it makes the spatter easier to clean up. So just like anything else, I mean, it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't. So Rocky's probably going to continue to use this, but he's probably going to have a fan blowing, probably try to take as many of the fumes away as possible. And definitely going to look for something that's not as poisonous as this stuff is. Like I said, the gel, non-toxic, there's no issues with it. But wow, this stuff here, I mean, I'm afraid to even be handling it, you know, or to even put it on video, because it's probably going to cause nightmares to whoever watches this. But I just wanted to give you a heads up. This is something that I was surprised to see, and you know, be careful when you purchase these things and read the labels. Rocky's Rant. Over. Bye.
Alright, this is what we've got so far. I built 2 Z brackets to mount to the cross member. Haven't got it quite centered up yet, but close to it. This is going to be the distance pulled back from the truck. I'll put a deck plate on with 3/4 inch double dies on it. And I think, just so that I'll have it, I'll also put a tow hitch receiver in there. I've already got the receiver hitch. I'm going to put the tow hitch receiver in, and I'm going to use that as my third mount. And that way it'll give it more support horizontally than if I use just the Z brackets. I could put triangulated plates on the Z brackets to strengthen them, but I think I'm just going to use the front tow hitch, or the tow hitch receiver, as the third mount. Alright, so it's getting closer. Definitely going to be easier than the last time, and I think I'll use a compound angle on the sides to make it look a little nicer. Whoop whoop! Here we go. Alright, this is what we got now. It looks like the tube is basically done. Got the end plates put on. It's centered up. I tucked the bumper in another 2 inches. Got the tow hitch put in there with a nice heavy mount across. That'll give me 3 areas of support. And the only thing left is to make the deck plate, dimple die it, and then tack weld that on, and basically be finished. I mean, this thing's going to be finished here today. So grab a mountain wrencher. Watch how this goes. I'll show you some of the dimple die process, the final tack welds. I don't know if you guys actually want to sit down and watch, you know, me tack weld a bunch of stuff and weld stuff together. I don't think that's too interesting. Might be interesting for the first 1 minute, and then after that, not so much. So let me get finished on this. Thanks. Alright, what we've got now is we've got the cardboard template cut out. It's a lot easier to screw up a piece of cardboard and fix it than it is to cut a piece of metal and find out that it's wrong. I'm going to put the metal up, trace out the template onto the metal, and then cut it with my skill saw. And I have to use a skill saw because I don't have a plasma cutter. One day when I grow up, maybe I'll have a plasma cutter and I'll be able to use that. But right now we'll do it the local shop guy on the slab. This is how you do it when you don't have a $600 plasma cutter, and instead you're using an $18 metal cutting blade. So let's get busy. Alright, unfortunately when I put the camera on the tripod to film all this, it went to sleep on me. But this is what I use these rods here to guide the skill saw so that I can make straight cuts. The water works well as a lubricant. It does evaporate pretty quick, but it works good with soapy water. The template looks pretty good, and so let me show you how it fits up. We're going to take and fit it up to the vehicle, and then if it looks good, we're going to go ahead and start drilling the holes so that we can dimple die it. Okay, stay tuned.
Where we got, we drilled a series. We basically laid out a grid. We drilled a series of 1/2 inch holes in the steel, and we're going to use a 1/2 inch dimple die. And what it does is it dimples the metal. It pushes it up and creates a force in the metal that will actually add rigidity to the rest of the flat plate. These are a little bit tight. This one fits. So basically that goes on there like that, and then we press it down and it pushes up and distorts the metal, and by raising it, it adds another structural piece to it, and it makes the flat bar, the flat sheet metal, actually more rigid. So we're going to start that, and we'll start the process here in just a minute. We're going to push the nipples up so that when you're standing on the bumper, it adds traction. That's slippery. So we're going to have the nipples going up. Basically start off like this. And the first one takes the longest because I got to get everything into position. So you can see that it pushes that ridge of the metal up. Basically in that section there, it's making the plate actually thicker. So I'll do a few more so you can get the idea of what's going on. In the old days, they used this on fighter planes. They could take sheet metal, punch holes in it, dimple die it, and retain the strength of the metal, have half the weight and all the strength by dimple dyeing them. Race car guys use them to lighten up chassis parts, etc., etc. See, look at that, pretty cool, huh? Do the next one. But this is nothing new. But it's new for me. I just got the tools for it. And it's something neat to do, yeah? So cool. Alright, so look at that. That's nice. It will bow the metal, so we're gonna have to bow the or take the bend back out of it, make it flat again before we install it on the bumper. Finally. Alright, this is what we got. Looks good, it's simple, it's not a whole lot going on, it's strong, it's masculine, it's a Jeep bumper, ties in, tapers into the sides of the truck, catching that line right here. Everything looks good. I got my classic plate. I'm going to wire in a headlight, or not a headlight, a tag light right here, and we'll be done. So maybe I'll take another picture of it after I get the tailgate on. The receiver tube goes all the way back to the cross member, has a wide plate to support lateral movement, and then I got the two Z brackets on each end. If I was going to use this to tow things with, I would tie it into the frame more so than just with the Z brackets, but I'm going to be towing with the hitch underneath, and that's where we're at, man. It looks good. I'm happy. This only took like half the amount of time as the front bumper did. Rock Lawrence Vintage Auto Parts, baby. Get ready for our long spring suspension. I'm waiting for the prototype springs to come in, and then we'll put those on market. See ya!